Good evening, everybody. I am in a different setup this evening from this morning. So this morning you saw me at my desk, and tonight I'm in the studio and we're sharing some ideas to help you scale your business organically through social media. What I'm going to be sharing is totally platform agnostic. So I'm going to be showing you is some things that you can do no matter what platform you're on. Because if you understand human beings, you don't need to worry so much about algorithms. Hi, Gary, welcome. I'm a little bit early on, so we'll probably see some more people joining, but I'm live across Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter, and somewhere else. I can't remember where. It's been a long day. And this is my last live in the UK because all my lives for the next couple of weeks are probably going to be from my travels. So thanks for joining us tonight. If we're not connected on LinkedIn or we're not following, you're not following on LinkedIn, please come find me, hit the follow button. I'm going to be talking about how to organically grow on social media. So this is deliberately designed, our chat tonight is deliberately designed for people who are small business owners, business people who want to get more clients, want to build their influence and elevate themselves on social media so they can make a decent living or make money, close business, all of that fun stuff that we want to do from social media. So hello, Io. Hello, Temi. Hi, Gary. Long day in Birmingham. Yeah. Hi, Demi. Hi, Monica. Hi, Joel. So we're going to start in a couple of minutes. We're just going to let everything kickstart. If you're on YouTube, you can also comment there. Facebook, you can comment. Twitter, I think you can comment. They all come back into one hub, and I'll answer any questions as we go. So just whilst we're waiting for everybody to join, just let me know, what's the primary social channel that you guys are using? Is it LinkedIn? Is it Facebook? Is it Twitter? Is it Instagram? Let me know which is your main channel. And also, Gary's let me know he's joined from Birmingham, not a million miles away from where I used to live. So let me know what platform's your main one. So Paul from Lanzarote, Paul B. Paul B, you're in Lanzarote. Hi, Bala. I'm actually heading to Cyprus tomorrow, sorry. So I'll be in Cyprus from tomorrow. So Instagram, LinkedIn, Instagram, which is interesting. Hi, LinkedIn and Twitter, James. LinkedIn, a lot of LinkedIn's. Obviously, we've got a very big presence on LinkedIn. But it is Instagram and LinkedIn. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and tailor this session to Facebook's there as well mentioned. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tailor this session. So everything I teach you tonight and everything I share with you tonight, you can use on any of the platforms. And what I'm going to say, some of you might go, really? But it's actually the proven way to really build out from social media. So I've really got three things I want to cover. How do you build and engage a crowd on any platform? How do you convert them using content? And then how do you elevate yourself above the competition? So that's the three things I'm going to talk about tonight. I'm going to give you some practical stuff and some strategy stuff that will help you. And everything that I'm going to teach you or share with you, are things that I've done myself. So this is not something made up or textbook. This is something I've done myself. So if we're not connected, if you're watching on another channel, if you're on LinkedIn, come find me, Dean Seddon on LinkedIn. Follow me, hit the bell, all that stuff. Instagram, I'm there too. Facebook, I'm there. Twitter, I'm there. So come find me. Let's get to know each other on social media too. So building and engaging a crowd. So depending on what platform you're on, you're either in I've got to grow my friends or connections, which is where LinkedIn and Facebook are very similar, or you've got to grow your followers, which is where Instagram and Twitter are very similar. And when you start to put all of this puzzle together of social media, you start to realize that there's two things that are at play. You've either got connecting, which you can push, or following, which you pull. So the common thread here is that content is the key to getting followers. We know this. I'm not telling you anything new here. But how do you build that initial group of people? And then how do you convert them? So if we're thinking about this from the aspect of Facebook and LinkedIn, because they're pull, you can join groups, you can search for people, and you can connect with people, and then they see your content. So LinkedIn and Facebook are actually easier to build a following initially than perhaps Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, where your content not only has to educate, but attract the right people. So one of the things that's really important as we get started is, and I'd love you to ask questions as we go, is to understand the differences between the platforms. They're either a push or a pull. Push is where you can connect or friend request, and then they see some of your content. You've got a chance of doing that. On Instagram, on Twitter, and on TikTok, it's pull. You've got to attract people. So the content has to do a lot of the work. So tip number one on how to build and engage a crowd, the easiest way to build a crowd, and this might seem really, really strange, is to, first of all, start following people. So number one, follow people. So on Twitter, on Instagram, and on TikTok, you need to follow people. I'm not so big on TikTok. I put some stuff out. Mainly I'm LinkedIn, Twitter, and Instagram more than anything. But you've got to follow people. Don't worry about being upside down immediately. By upside down, I mean having more followers or following more people than you have followers. Don't worry about that to begin with. That's the first thing. You will pick up some followers by doing that. Now, this whole follow, unfollow thing, don't stress about that, but follow people. Follow people who do what you do. Follow people who have the same audience as you. So if I see a competitor on Instagram, I'm going to follow them. Why? One, I can spot what content is attracting their audience. And if I understand and study them, I can learn, not copy, but I can learn from them and replicate my versions of what I've been seeing. Because here's the thing, there's nothing new under the sun, right? Hi, Laura. It's Laura Capaldo. Hi, Mary. Hi, Georgie. There's nothing new under the sun, let's be honest, right? So if somebody else is doing something and it's working, you should learn from it. So if you see somebody having success in your market or with your target audience, even if it's not the same product or service, you should absolutely follow it to study what they're doing. That's the first priority. If you want to build and engage an audience, follow people who have the audience you have. That's number one. Number two, engage meaningfully with those people who have the audience that you've got. Hi, Oscar. So most people miss this, but actually commenting on people's posts who have the same audience. Oh, that's brilliant, Laura. That's brilliant. Growing your following by 1,000 a month minimum. The people who have the same audience as you should be engaging meaningfully with them. By that, I mean commenting, sharing some of their content, reposting some of their content, all of the stuff to gain relationships and network with the people who have an audience like you. Doesn't matter what platform it is, this is the way to do it. You will naturally attract a following from that engagement. If you post meaningfully and comment meaningfully on your people who are like you's posts, one, you're helping them get more visible, number one. Number two, some of their audience will come and check you out, and you will naturally gain followers by just commenting. Remember, comments are content too. Everybody repeat after me. Comments are content too. So commenting can be as powerful as posting. Now, of course, if you start meaningfully commenting on TikTok I got 93 followers on TikTok, and I'm not very active on TikTok, but I got 93 followers from commenting on one post meaningfully. So commenting can be just as powerful. That said, if people come back and there's no content that's useful and engaging, they're not going to stay. They're not going to hang around, and you're not going to build that audience. You don't build an audience by not posting. So you need to get into a discipline of posting at least once every single day on that channel. Now, I'm going to say something. Some people will disagree with me. You need to commit to posting every single day on that channel, come what may. James, I use Medium as well. Medium's good, but it is a bit tricky. You've got to really add some substantive content. So I use Medium as kind of a secondary, and I'll talk about that in a moment. So you've got to put content out, and you have to accept there is a machine element to this. Now, people say to me, Dean, I want to post quality content. I don't just want to post for the sake of it. Unfortunately, you are going to, they want you to be real. Yes, they do, Laura. Followers want you to be real. So first things first, if you start posting content, you will have to commit to it. That means some of your content is not going to be perfect. This is a production game. This is a conveyor belt. But also, you're not fully in the right space to be able to engage people fully with content yet. The only way you learn how to engage people is by committing to the process. So by committing to post once a day, every day, you will get to the point where you're actually, Anna, I'll come to your question in a moment. You will start to learn what works and what doesn't. Now, when Anna's asked a good question, and Laura's put a good suggestion there, if you want to be sharing stuff that will engage people, the obvious thing to share is things that are going on in your world. People love that stuff. When you share bits and pieces of what's going on in your world, people love it. It might not be the most exciting thing to share, and it might be not the most promotional thing to share, but if you're sharing stuff that adds value, then it's really important to do it. So commenting is the most powerful thing to pull an audience, but then your content production needs to be up to spec. By the time you've done something like 30 or 40 posts, you're starting to get into the swing of it. It will take, particularly if you're on a pull platform where you've got to attract a following, it is slower than on a push platform like Facebook or LinkedIn, where you can actually grow, you can take charge of growing your audience, whereas you can't make people follow you. So types of posts that do well in terms of engaging people. So Anna, I think you're talking about LinkedIn, but generally, if you look across all the platforms, you want to make some posts that's so easy to engage with. So polls and this or that comparison posts become very important. Oscar, yes, bite-sized tips. Give people something they can use. So ask yourself, is this useful content? In other words, in 30 seconds or in a minute or however long I'm doing this piece of content for, is there something people can go and do with it? In other words, did they come away and go, I should try that? And that's the test. Can somebody do something with that piece of content? Right, James, I'll come to your question in a minute. It's quick fire questions tonight. So commenting substantively will pull an audience to you. Then it's about your content. So when we look at content itself, there's some fundamental components. There's the hook, which is the bit that gets people's attention. So that's the visual and the first bits of copy they see. So making an engaging piece of content starts with a hook. There's then the teaser to get people to invest in the content. And this morning I talked about this on my live and about how LinkedIn is very much like Netflix. But the principle of every piece of content is the same. There's a hook, there's a teaser, which gets you to invest in the content. Then there's the substance of the content as well. And then finally, there is the wrap up or the summary, the final point you want people to leave with, and then your call to action. Now, in terms of Twitter, you've got to land blows in much shorter ways. So James, in your scenario, you might be wanting to put some really short bite-sized information, land it in some like one-liners almost, and then you might do some threads where you break down your content. Let's say you've got 5 tips. It might be a thread of 5 tips. Now, you will have to do this a lot to get going, but the primary thing you can do to kickstart your network is fundamentally you need to engage with people to draw that crowd. So you might be producing content almost as backfill before you start this strategy, because if you have an empty Twitter account or an empty Instagram, that's what people are coming to. Peter Thompson, does the post once a day message really cover all platforms? I doubt that there is the same need for posting frequency compared to Twitter or Instagram with LinkedIn. Peter, some platforms are encouraging more than once a day, but you need to get into a rhythm of posting once a day. So posting once a day becomes very, very serious thing to do. Instagram, some people say that you should be posting 2 feed posts, 3 reels, and a story every day. So it's a lot more involved, but fundamentally you have to get into a point where you're posting once a day. Yeah, first 3 seconds is your hook, Jackie. First 3 seconds is your hook. And 11 times, that's not a million miles away from any platform. 11 times before people remember who you are. That's common on LinkedIn, that's common everywhere. James, I post on weekends. I would keep up the discipline and the routine, but not every post is going to win. And not, Anna, I would 5 times a day. That's intense. I'm doing 5 times a day. My general rule is if it gets to 5,000 posts, 5,000 impressions, I'll do another post, because I'm trying to cater to more audiences. So I don't want to kind of go off topic here, but the first thing is you've got to build a crowd, which means you outbound engaging with people to pull them back to your content, except in the likes of LinkedIn and Facebook, where you can push and grow your network so more people see your content that way. Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, you have to pull the audience, which means you outbound engage to bring them back to you. So that's a lot of effort, but once you get to a point where you've got some critical mass, you can actually start to move forward. Laura's on about, is it important to mention others in your post? Only if it's relevant to them. There's a rising trend of tagging people to get attention. And I find it annoying when people do it to me if it's not relevant to me. So yes, tag people, but only tag people if it's relevant. So you can see there's push and there's pull. Pull is about gaining followers, which is content driven. So you have to go outbound to engage to bring those people back. And it might take you a little while to do that, but it's worth the investment. So you're posting while you're outbound engaging. On the LinkedIn and Facebook, where you can pull, you'll see a quicker return on investment in terms of tangible results, because you can grow the network growth, your connection growth, your follower growth, for want of a word, is under your control. That doesn't mean don't do the others, because your target audience are probably there and you want to get in front of them, but you're going to have to invest more front-end work to get that traction. And that's just the way it is. So you will have to put a lot of posts out there before you really see the results and the traction you want. And you will have to invest in growing your audience by engaging with other people. So that's really, really important. LinkedIn's miles easier than Instagram, I'll tell you that now. And TikTok is a tough old channel, because if you're not comfortable with Video, first of all, that's a hurdle to get over. And then you've got how can I put it? The production that you have to do, even if you're doing homemade videos, is quite a lot. And then you've got getting used to it. Mark's asked, do I accept all LinkedIn connection requests? No, I don't. I used to when I was building my audience, but I'll give you some tips on who you should grow your audience with. People who engage with your content, you should grow your audience with them. People who you want to do business with, you want to grow your audience with them. And people who work around with and for the people you want to do business with, you should connect with them. So I focus on, Anna's asked another, it's like quick fire round tonight, actually. I focus on the people who can do business with. Amy, what did Amy said? Just scroll up for me, somebody. What did Amy say? Amy, going all in, right? So going all in on one channel and getting one working, right? Now, Anna's asked this question. Here's what happens, right? When you try and do too many things at once, you end up doing them all half-assed. Yeah. It's all right, Anna, it's fine. So you end up doing half-assed. So if you follow me on social media, you'll notice that there's a lot of effort on LinkedIn, a ton of effort. But then when it gets to my other channels, you don't see me active as much. Why? Why is that? Because it takes another level of discipline to build up another channel. And I have chosen to do all my channels pretty much as I can myself. So on LinkedIn, it's me. It's not somebody doing it for me, it's me. Because if I'm going to tell people to do it, I have to do it for myself. So I would say, number one, get one channel working for you. When that's profitable and beneficial for you, you can take the decision. I am now given what's happened with LinkedIn, say, I'm now going to invest in Instagram because I've seen the rewards. What a lot of people do is they go all out on all the channels. And if you're a company page, of course you have to do that, at least populate them. You go all out on all the channels, you split your energy, and then you end up just generically putting stuff out. So my preference is, I imagine it all doing one channel, and then the channels where you're not taking them as seriously, I just schedule stuff to them so they're populated. That's it, just so they're populated. So I only focus on the primary channels. And so that's where all my energy goes. Alison, I imagine you pre-make the post content. Are you scheduling all to make it doable? Oh, now how do I say this, Alison? So on LinkedIn, Alison, I use no scheduling. I write every post and put every post up myself. I could schedule them, but I want to be around for the comments. I want to engage with people. I want to respond. So I've made it a commitment. And because so much of my business now comes from LinkedIn, sharing posts, engaging with people, I invest the time because I know it's worth it. But that's because I've been doing it consistently for some time. Okay, so Lauren's asked, what's the content that you see working best for LinkedIn? Well, oddly enough, I'm going to answer this in two ways. So in terms of getting the most views, if we're talking about promotional content, yeah, so we're not talking about a poll about, is it Wednesday or Thursday? We're talking about something that gets our message out. I've seen 3 work really well. The first one is the PDF. PDFs do well because they get a lot of dwell time. The next one is video. Now, no, I'm going to come back to video. The next one is an image, but you tell a story as part of the promotion. So you don't just go, hey, look at what we've got. Here's our gadget. You actually tell a story, and the image is more personal or more human. So the first one is the PDF, like a swipe file. The second one is the image, but the image is more personal, but the message is more or less storytelling, which tells people about your value. Yeah, it's Tuesday. And then the final one is the video. Now, the videos are tough because some people go, oh, I put a video out and I didn't get many views. Now, I'm not talking about putting TikTok videos of turtles backflipping and stuff like that, because that doesn't help you. You'll get 100,000 views on it, but it doesn't help you. I'm talking about videos where you add value. Now, these videos are quite tricky because on face value, when you do one, they can seem like they are very underperforming. And I'll come to that tomorrow in a second. It's a million questions. I love it when there's so many questions, but the last couple of weeks it's been quite quiet, probably because of the summer heat here. So video has a different dynamic. Now, if you're an influencer with a gazillion followers, you can do whatever you want. But if you're not that, one of the things that video is really powerful at is helping people to get to know you. Why does that matter? Because the vast majority of businesses, people buy from people. So I've spent a lot of time over the last few weeks doing live videos on LinkedIn every morning. And I get maybe 1,500 views on the videos. So not massive views, because I'm doing it at 7 o'clock in the morning, live at 7 a.m. But I'm just giving value so that people get to know me. Because if you want to do business with me, you're going to make a judgment based on who I am, what I'm about. So the video gives me less views than, say, a PDF, but a deeper view because people have now met me. They've understood the way I communicate. They get the patter of the way I approach things. And so that's a better view than a PDF view, shall we say. But you will get less of those than a PDF. That's just the way the cookie crumbles. So understanding those two differences really makes a difference. Tamara, right? Let me just. Most social media managers don't know about the algorithms either. It's all guesswork of what's been observed. I would encourage you, right? And this is where I'm going to go into my next point. And I know we've kind of gone half an hour on point one here, and I've got how to use content to convert yet. Is I'm a firm believer, and this sounds really unpopular, is that you should understand your own social media first. Because if you don't understand your social media, let me just break this into two things. There's the platform and there's the people. You should know the people you want to do business with really well. So the platform bit is the difficult bit. What's the best time to post and all those things. But here's the thing. Anna and algorithms, right? I'm going to just bust a myth here. If you understand your people, the algorithms don't matter. And I'm going to say that. They don't matter. Why? Comments are content. Anna, if you go out on Instagram and start engaging with your target audience, if you go on LinkedIn and start engaging with your target audience, it all sorts itself out because they come back and they reciprocate. And most of the accounts that start from scratch, and I've done it, I deleted my account last year and started it all over again. The best way to grow an account and grow an engaged audience is to go outbound engaging. That's the way. Now, the problem comes is if you hire a social media company to do that, they will focus on creating the most amazing content and it will cost you an arm and a leg. But actually, if you start engaging with people and building that community, the content piece, whilst important, doesn't have to be top spec, blow you away, wow, which makes it more sustainable. The challenge for the social media company is engaging with those people in a meaningful way when they don't understand your business, your quirks, and all that stuff in the way that you want. So I always encourage people, at least get it going yourself. Because when you get it going yourself, I've got clients, we look after about 150 different companies' social accounts, and we'll write the content and all of that stuff. And I tell them, that actually engaging with your target accounts, you will do it better than us, way better than us. Why? Because you understand them way better than we ever can, because you're in it, you smell it, you live it, you breathe it, you understand their pain points, you see it every day, you've got years of experience. So that's hard to replicate. That's hard to replicate. But you don't need a massive following if you use one masterpiece of content to convert. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you, hopefully you're all still here and I've answered everybody's questions. Algorithms are not a problem if you have a deep understanding of people. If you understand your people, the algorithms and all that you can learn that pretty quick. Because what we tend to do, and what lots of people do, is go chasing the algorithm and don't really understand the people, and then they wonder, why is it not working? Actually, if you understand the people, if you build the relationships, it takes care of itself. It really does. And I know that sounds like silliness, but it does take care of itself. If you outbound engage, they come back and reciprocate, amplifies you, and you just keep doing that, building it up. Like the, you know, the story of, I think it's the milk falls in milk, like a mouse falls in milk and then it's spinning like this and then it churns it into butter. That's the point. You have to do that work to get an account going. Yes, and that's the thing tomorrow. So what I'm going to show you, is Anna, you get ahead of the algorithms by outbound engaging with people, target audience, engage with the target audience and engage with the people who have your target audience already. You solve that, it'll all sort itself out. So there's two ways to go. People, understand people, or understand platforms. If you understand people, all those changes don't matter so much. And the next bit I'm going to show you will actually help you sort this out. So at any given time, I'm just going to zoom in before I share screens here. Oh, not that much. At any given time, there's only a fraction of your target audience looking to buy the services you offer. And Tamara makes a really good point. It can actually be, and I've seen this, by the way, if you want to get a basic social media package, you could be by basic, I mean, with some strategy involved. You know, you can pay somebody on Fiverr to post stuff on your feed for you, motivational quotes, and you probably pay them $100 a month or £100 a month. There's no strategy. So if you want kind of strategy on a social media channel, the serious side of this, you would want to be focusing on getting a social media manager where there's at least somewhere like £500 a month to get their attention so that they're thinking about what they're doing. If you think about it, if somebody's charging £500 a month and you need a post every day, there's not much strategy involved. So you need to think about that. And the ROI, I've seen many people go, yeah, I understand social media is an investment, but it'll pay off dividends once it gets going. And then 3 months in, they go, oh, I can't afford the £500 a month anymore. We'll have to pause it. It's better for you to do it yourself, get it working, get it profitable, so you can justify the investment to yourself before you start firing the money out, because you'll get demotivated when you're sinking 500 quid or 1,000 quid, some of them, and not getting the benefit from it. So you'll appreciate more when you do that. Anna's got another question about audience and impressions, and I'll come back to Laura. Always nice to see you. Always nice to see you. Anna's got a question about impressions. Anna, I would focus on the engagement, but in these early days, you track it by impressions. So how many people saw the post? Once you're starting to get views, it's then about how do I shift this to get engagement? Yeah. Bala, no, absolute no. You do not need millions of followers to make money from social media. Most of you don't need to be influencers at all. I teach people how to do this. I'm going to show you it now, that you do not need thousands of followers to make social media profitable. So let's be honest. At any given time, there's a stat floating around, but about 3% of your target market are interested. It's all right, Anna, it's fine. 3% are interested in buying your services. The problem is on social media, we don't know who the 3% are. So Jackie's got to run. So I'm going to show you, we're going to put it up on screen, hopefully. So this is what I call the rapid leads method. So this works. It depends, Anna, on what channel. Obviously, clicks are showing more interest. So impressions first, then engagement. So clicks, likes, comments, all of that stuff become really important. Jackie, have a good day at work. So the rapid leads method is, okay, I'm building this account. I'm building this social media channel, but I know that that's going to take time. Rome was not built in a day. So it would be unrealistic to go, oh, I don't need millions of followers. You don't. You just need the right people to engage with you and decide to want to know more. Just them people. So the rapid leads method works along this path. So first of all, you need to deeply understand your audience, because you've got to create content that's relevant to them. So you've got to get a deep understanding of your target audience from their perspective. Now, because we've done quite a lot of questions, I'm going to race here because I want to get everything out. So we have a worksheet you can have called the audience value proposition. This forces you to think about your services from the client's perspective, their world. What do they think? What's their challenges? What's their frustrations? What's keeping them up at night? What's their goals? What's all the things they want to achieve? To give you an understanding of what content I should be creating. That's the first bit, the audience value proposition. And just, if you want a copy of the audience value proposition, drop us an email, hi@maverick.io. It's on screen wherever you're watching, and we'll send you a copy of it. That helps you think like a client or a potential client or future client. From that document, from that exercise, you create what we call the master piece of content, the master content. This is the core message that you're punching out through social media. It weaves through everything you do, and we create the master content. And then every time you get a follower, every time you get a connection, you give them the master content. So that could be in a message as a thank you when they connect. It could be a post that you do on a regular basis. It could be your link in your bio. That's the master content, and it ties back directly to the pains and challenges your target audience are having. So let me give you a scenario. Bala was saying earlier, you need millions of followers. You don't. If you're growing 2 or 3 followers a week on Instagram, and they're your target audience, and you send them your master content, and they download it, access it, however you want to do the mechanics, you have a lead. And there's a whole system you can build around this, and it works on Instagram, TikTok, everybody's doing it. It's a masterpiece of content that speaks directly to the need of your audience, that you know you have a solution for that they can buy. And then here's the killer. Most of the people who make money, i.e. clients, from social media don't make the money on social media. They make it from the emails that they capture from people accessing their master content. So if I produce, for an example, how coaches can build their client base from LinkedIn. Now, the long-term game on LinkedIn is to use your content to get the interest of people. And I get leads in my inbox every week now on LinkedIn because of my content, because I've been consistently doing it, learning, tweaking, and improving. But I get a ton of leads from people downloading my master content, the content that speaks to the needs. So if I have this, how coaches can get more clients from LinkedIn in the next 30 days, and I share that in my LinkedIn, I get downloads from coaches who want more clients in the next 30 days. I can help with that problem. And I will engage with them, and our team will engage with people using that methodology. Lots of people do this. Lots of people do this. So I would do this yourself. And I teach people how to do this and get them up and running in 6-7 weeks, getting leads every single week from social media without a big following. The content game will bring the crowd to you, And then your systemized distribution of your master content will do it. It's tricky with VAs. You have to really commit to working with somebody. That's Tamara, I don't disagree that you can get help, but you need somebody who will actually take the time to understand your audience, but also you need to take the time to invest in that VA, because it's not going to be success overnight, because you're basically taking the knowledge and transplanting to somebody else who has the time. So you're trading time, but losing expertise, because you're the expert in your business. So the first thing is the AVP. If you want a copy of the AVP, you can get it. You create this masterpiece of content that will, speaks to the needs your target audience has, that you can solve. Then you systemize your process. In other words, so that every new follower gets this, and this is how we follow up. And when they go into our email database, this is how we book a call. Dead simple. So there's no cold pitching, there's no sales pitches. You're just using one masterpiece of content to do all the work. And then the interest that's captured, you either book it into a call or you nurture it. This is how most people with not big followings are making money from social media. If you've got millions of followers, you can sell a post, you can do sponsorships, you can do all sorts, but the vast majority of us are not that. We are people who have a business, we sell things, and we want to sell more things. So social media is the content piece is the long-term win, because as that grows and takes off, you'll get inbound leads and people asking you. On the short term or the medium term, the thing that can work immediately is what we call the rapid leads method, which sits in the middle. It's not pushy, it's not aggressive, but it gives you leads every single week. So all your effort on social media equals leads. So rather than at the moment where you go and putting content out, you might get disheartened because you have a bad run or it's a bit of a slog. Actually, you go, I'm going to do this, and this is the short term or the medium term payoff. This is what's going to help me make this feel worthwhile. And I do this on Instagram, I do it on LinkedIn, I do it on Twitter, I do it a little bit on Facebook. I'm not so hot on Facebook at the moment. I'm doing a lot of other stuff, but it works hands down every single time. Why? Because you're capturing people's need there and then. And if they have that need, they've just signaled to you, you can help me. Anna's asked, if you push out content on LinkedIn and Instagram, do you not need to change the content format? Instagram is Gen Z and more liberal than LinkedIn, and you have to be more professional. Anna, I use pretty much the same content on both channels. It's not about the audience. Your audience is your audience. So I do what I do, and I attract the crowd that I attract. I am the same on LinkedIn. I'm the same on Instagram as I'm on LinkedIn. I'm the same person. Now, if you choose to go after different audiences on different platforms, that's a different thing. But Instagram has pretty much everybody else, maybe not in the same quantities as, say, LinkedIn, but it has the same representation there. So it is a case of all the platforms have the audience. It's just some platforms will have more of one audience than another. So it's not really about Instagram's more Gen Z. Yes, that's true. There's a lot more younger people on Instagram, but actually there's lots of businesses there, lots of business owners there. They're all there. So Peter, is the master content just your headline message or a wider service? So Peter, the master content has to be useful and has to speak to their pain. It's actually not really about you so much. Yes, you have a section in it where it tells the people, but it's more about speaking to their challenges. So they go, this is useful. And then as they access that, they go, this is useful. You can follow up having planted that you provide useful information. So that's the kind of rapid leads method, which works on any channel, even if you've just started it. Now, it works better if you've got a bit of history behind you, but if you started an Instagram from scratch, you could have this system running in 2 to 3 weeks. You don't need ads. You just need to post consistently, because that's where you grow your following, and engage consistently. So that's where you grow your following. And then share the master content in your bio in any thank you messages you send to people, when people follow you, when any of that. You don't spam comment people, you don't pitch people, you just work it, work it, work it. And people get 3-4 leads every week on a small account. And if they're really active, they could probably get up to 10 to 15. It's really straightforward. Gary, you're right. If you have different personalities and different platforms, yes, you can. But if you were trying to offer, say, let's say I had a service for one demographic on LinkedIn and another service for another demographic on LinkedIn, you would naturally change the, maybe not the style, but the substance is going to be different because you're selling two different things to two different audiences. But you should be you, whichever platform you're on. And that's the other thing about getting outsourced. I know it's a bit of a challenge and a struggle, but once you get into it, it gets really easy and really straightforward. Might not feel that way, but actually once you get into it, it becomes second nature. But there is this difficulty of how does somebody else be you? And it is a challenge. And I've trained a lot of people on how to do that. And it is tough to get somebody to find you. So what I'm saying is, I'm not saying don't outsource it. What I am saying is you've got to be prepared to invest in a process and make that process work, because without it, you're going to have to do it yourself. So in other words, it might take you 2 to 3 months of working with a VA to really find your feet. So it's important that you understand that this is not something where I hire a VA in 2 weeks, they're just knocking it out of the park. Most of this just doesn't work. Scott, I would recommend a call to action on your posts, but maybe not all call to actions are promotional. So for an example, one call to action could be like and follow for more. I would use that. Some call to actions are actually go buy this, check out the link in the bio, because you're giving something. I did one the other day, and it was about somebody else's post earlier. I shared a blog on Instagram, put the link in the bio, and told people if they wanted the full article, they had to go through. And I got about 28, 29 people click through on that link on the bio on that day. So not massive, but it shows you if you tell people what to do, they will actually do it. And likewise, if you want people to comment, ask them, what do you think? Tell me what you think in the comments. Yeah, real simple stuff. But if you don't do it, you don't get it. So look at your posts. Are you asking people to comment? Are you asking people for their opinion? Or are you just blasting information out? So the rapid leads method is really the key to making an account work, even if the following's not there and the content's on a journey. It's something you can implement kind of within a couple of weeks. It's running, it's working, you can improve it, you can inform it. It's really important. And Tamara, yeah, if you want to find somebody who shares your voice, that might not be something you can interview for. It might be something you have to train into somebody else. So you might have to invest the time in saying, I would say this, I wouldn't say that. This is how I do it. This is what I wouldn't do. And you have to invest the time so that that person gets it. It seems like a straightforward thing to us, but when we see other people trying to emulate us, we see that that wouldn't be us. And sometimes we can beat them up too much. But yeah, it is a journey you have to invest in. And I'm really clear on that. There's so many people who go, yeah, I'm going to use a social media agency, I'm going to use a VA. And then they don't put the time in to actually make that a successful relationship. And they have to accept they might sink some money in something that might take 3-6 months to really fly if you're investing in somebody else. Rapid leads method, if you want to know more about it, I'm actually running it in August, where we get you up and running in 2 weeks. So it's 2 weeks of prep and then 6 weeks where we work together to improve it, fix it, tweak it, all that kind of stuff together as a group. So in the short term, to scale with social media and make it profitable early, by when you've not got the traction, when you're not getting the traction early on, you need a system. That's why I use the conversion via master content, which is the rapid leads method. So if you want to know more about that, you can email us. If you want to know about the program we run next month, you can find out. But the final thing I want to share with you before we wrap up I've got to kind of do this really quick now because I love the questions, by the way. It's just been tough to condense all of this down. A final thing I want to share is elevating yourself above the competition. You don't have to have, there is an element of, if you have lots of likes and comments, you attract likes and comments because people like to back winners, and a crowd does attract a crowd. There is an element of truth in all of that. So if you're getting low engagement right now, you have to commit to fixing that. Yeah, you have to invest time in fixing that. And the AVP method I shared with you earlier, and you can have a copy of it, just drop us an email, we'll send it to you. That will start to change things. But if you're trying to elevate yourself over and above the competition, there's two things you've really got to do. Two things. I should put two fingers already. Two things you've got to do. The first one is you've got to help people understand their situation better. What do I mean by that? One of the reasons why accounts do so well where they give lots of free stuff is because it trains people to see that they know their stuff. They have answers. They solve problems. And part of what you've got to do with your content, even if you're selling know-how, is give people a level of useful content that helps them either understand their situation better or gives them things that are actionable that they can go and do. Scott, I'll answer your question in a second. So that's the first thing. Yeah, you actually have to do useful content, as I would call actionable content, things people can do with it. So that's the first one. The second thing you can do to elevate yourself above the competition is help people. There's a saying, it's by Charles Kettering, who was an engineer for General Motors. Forex automations on LinkedIn. Oh my God. Right. If you want to really get under the skin of an audience and you really want them to see your value and elevate you above the competition, and even if you're outmatched by followers and likes and all that stuff, there's one simple thing you can do. Help people understand their problems better. And that sounds really stupid, but if you help people understand their problems, you gain instant authority. Absolute instant authority. Simplest way to do it. You've got to gain instant authority. So I would absolutely diagnose, what we call diagnosis content, will help people understand your content. PBM consulting, a VA would be useful time saving for the content production and editing and posting, but the comments engagement you have to do yourself. Absolutely. But I would add one thing more. You can't let you have to understand what your audience will engage with. Because if you give a VA an instruction, they will do what they think is best. You have to understand your customers, your audience the best. Then the VA, and I'm not being disrespectful to VAs, but VA's job are to give you more time. So normal scenarios, you give them things that, okay, well, I'll just say it. If you're the founder of your business, you should be focused on £100 an hour problems. Your VA should be focused on, I don't know, £20 an hour problems, whatever the going rate is these days, right? So think about it like that. Your VA should only be doing things that are £20 problems. If you see your content as a £20 an hour problem, that might be a problem, because the content is what's going to drive your business. Now, you might not see it that way if you're getting low engagement, but rest assured, if you do some of the things I talk about in these webcasts, in these programs that I do, in these videos, social media will not be a channel to broadcast. It will be a money-making channel for you, because you're bringing leads every single week by using a very simple process. Somebody else says, Scott asked a question, and I'm going to finish this with Scott's question because I'm going to go over time. Scott, you're right, an echo chamber, right? Scott, I think we've had a conversation similar to this. You want to get out of and away from people who do what you do in terms of you shouldn't be speaking to them. I've met many, many people, actually a lot in the marketing world by chance, where all of that, they're putting out content and all of the people who are engaging them are other marketing people, copywriters, and all the comments are from copywriters. And it's like, this is the wrong people. By all means, engage with people to get their audience to come to you, but you don't really want to have like a peer-to-peer network if you're trying to get clients. So there is that balance of your content should be for your target audience, your future customers, your future clients, but your engagement to get those followers might be meaningfully engaging with people who do similar things to you or target. So yeah, tomorrow, experienced VA rates, $35 to $50 an hour. So still, I would say that the content strategy and understanding your audience is a CEO solo founder task. The VAs is the implementation. And I see that as a really good fit. Having done this for a long time, I can tell you the journey to get the content right is tough. Unless you employ an agency with a lot of expertise, you're basically leveraging somebody else's time. Any other questions? Any other questions? Anna, thank you so much. Hey guys, look, seriously, if you're interested in the rapid leads method, I'll send you a little video I did about it. It's an overview video, but I'll send you a video about it. And if you want to implement it, whatever channel, LinkedIn it's brilliant for, Instagram it's brilliant for, Facebook it's brilliant for, Twitter it's all right. It's all right on Twitter. It's a bit trickier with DMs on Twitter and responding to DMs on Twitter. It's all right. But basically, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, TikTok's not bad, but it's a bit more. I'd rather stick to those three. If you want to implement the rapid leads methods, where you're getting at least 2 to 3 leads every week from your social media. I'm not going to say click a button. I'm going to make it really harder. Drop me an email, hi@maverick.io. You'll see it on screen right there. hi@maverick.io and say, send me the info about rapid leads. And I will, I'm going on holiday tomorrow, but we will send it to you tomorrow. So just say, send me the info about rapid leads. We'll send you the overview and we'll send you the program we're running next month. And then you can make your mind up. You can have a go, or you can come on and I'll get my help to actually build it and implement it instantly. Within 2 weeks, you'll be up and running. We'll be getting leads. Sounds great to me. You should do it. We do it all the time. Doesn't matter what industry, as long as you're selling to human beings, it works. Brilliant. So drop us an email and send it there. Any other questions, drop me a line on that email, hi@maverick.io. We'll get all the info to you. But from me, I'm going on holiday. You'll still see me posting on LinkedIn because I'm committed to it. Sad or what? All right. But you don't need a big following on social media, but you do need to have a very systemized approach to making it work. Something you can gain in terms of quick wins, consistent quick wins, whilst you're building that content out to bring and attract the people who need what you sell. So thank you so much for joining me. Come find me on all the channels, follow, say hello, all that kind of stuff. And I'll see you when I'm back for more webcasts from Maverick.
Last year, Maverick has helped generate more than 15 million in new business. The biggest reason for this is our 90-day training and implementation platform we call the Accelerator Program, where we teach your team to sell on social media with an implement-as-you-go strategy. It's not a pre-recorded course, it's hands-on sales training that develops and grows with you, with 90 days of real action that generates business and long-term revenue. So who is it for? This program is for entrepreneurs, marketing and sales professionals who want to sell without ads, cold calling, or pushy tactics. A better way of selling with real steps to take, which speeds up your sales process without burning any bridges. These are just a few examples of results our members have achieved using the Accelerator. As you can see, the Accelerator isn't about quick wins, it's about building a better sales process. If you'd like to learn more, just book a call with the Maverick team and we'll show you how the Accelerator program can win you new business.